you're muted.
There we go. Now can you hear me?
That is better.
All right. Sounds good. Good stuff.
I'm going to make you the host.
Okay. You are the host now. Perfect.
Yep.
All right. I
You
figured
can
out how to share my stuff here.
Yep. Thank you. Pleasure. No, I made Nash work, and PJ made me take pictures. So, oh, that's funny. And it's probably Kent. No, David. I feel so bad. He's an adorable kid. Ah, look at that. It looks great.
All right, cool, good. And I have maybe 10 of them, but I'll just go back to there, new share, go back to my drive and pull up what I got.
I've totally got to get you the updated policies and procedures. That's on my, well, we can't do anything else work list.
Okay.
Oh my God, Kent. Oh, that poor boy. All right. I'm going to mute myself, Rob, but I'll come back in a second, check on you.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, Tom. 12:59. Tom, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. I got you, Rob.
All right, good. All right, we'll just give it a few more minutes and we'll start it here at 1 o'clock, a little right around 1:05 or so.
Sounds good.
All right. Let's see who else. Anybody else joining us here?
Hey, Rob, just wanted to let you know I just did a quick Facebook Live reminding folks where they can get the Zoom link from their text or from the Facebook group or from KW Connect. So hopefully some more folks will hop on and take advantage of this great opportunity.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Cece. Yeah, I'll wait 2 more minutes and we'll start at 1:03. It's just me and Tom. And, hey, that's all right.
Hey, listen, Tom, I wouldn't be worried about getting some private coaching. Always a good thing, right?
Absolutely. Trickle for the opportunity.
Perfect.
All right, there's Chelsea. All right, looks like Chelsea's connecting to that audio. See if that works. We'll get a thumbs up from her, then we'll get started here. Tom, you took the class this morning as well, right, with Becca?
Yes, sir.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Glad you're taking advantage of this system here.
Oh, and she did a great job too, Rob.
Good.
Excellent. I was asking her, I said, because I noticed she eliminated but from her vocabulary. I said, how many times have you been through Bold? She said she graduated 3 times through Bold. I said, you're doing an exceptional job with getting but out of your language. So
Yeah, it's not tough. It's tough eliminating words that you have a bad
Right.
habit continuing
Right.
to say.
She's good. She's very good. She's a good instructor.
That's important. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
important. All right. Well, it looks like we're gonna get going here. So now, today, Tom, we're gonna talk about our office policies and guidelines. Some of just the regulations that, as the broker in charge, I'm looking out for. So to keep you guys out of trouble with anything with the commission. Some broker best practices as well. How you should handle other agents and other situations. Advertising. Now you already have your business cards and you already have you have a Facebook page.
Yes, sir, I do.
You had a Facebook page as well too. Okay, so we'll just make sure we'll talk about the compliance for that, and I'll show you how we have. I have slides for all of our logos. I'm sure you have those as well too. But if you want to add those to any of your other marketing plans, you can do that.
Great.
License renewal, continuing education, post licensing requirements, and then we'll just end with some of the pages in Shift, since we're going through this little thing going on with the coronavirus, and see some ideas that we can talk about, some other opportunities to stay in business, because
Great.
we're not going to be stopping. So, okay, so our local policy and guidelines, you should get a copy of this, but as I slide through here, our team meetings, well, that's where we'll start. They're on the Tuesday, the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday of every single month. Our PB meetings are before that, and well, you're not a provisional broker, but those are required for all the agents to attend that. We also require all of our agents to attend all closings. You know, someone said, well, what if I'm away on vacation? Well, that's not a problem. It is required, an office policy for either myself or a licensed agent that you can have somebody cover for you to attend our closings. So now, of course, with what's going on, and actually downstairs they're doing power of attorney and different type of closings because of what's going on, you'll still be involved with that as regarding with lining everything up. But however, we're not going to be there right now with what's going on, but they are. I know Carrie LeCue is able to do Zoom or face chat or any type of meetings like that. Your anniversary date will renew on the date of when you joined with Keller Williams. That's going to be determined through when you're able to earn up to 100% commission. When is your anniversary date, Tom?
I think I roll over May 1. It was actually late in the month of April of 2017 when I joined University City. So I think they've always had my rollover date as May 1. But
May 1st, okay.
Yes.
And now, so you're not in capping status as of right now, right?
I'm sad to say.
Okay. How close are you? Are you having a half cap or a quarter cap?
I think if we go back and take a look at it, I'm just a little over 2 million. You know, I'm capped on royalty, but not
Full cap. Okay.
Yes.
Well, if you're right around 2 million, you only got to really get up to 2.4. That could be like another transaction and a half or so.
Right. I was thinking I was going to get her done, but things have. Next year is going to be a better year, Rob.
All right. Well, good. Well, at least, I mean, you're coming up on May 1st, so whatever you do now, you're going to get paid in 90 days.
Right.
That takes us to in June. So
yes,
we do some of these activities now where people are out in hiding, but if we can use some of these techniques to get in front, that's our goal for you to get to cap. So, okay, yes. Good. So good. We're capped on royalty. You understand that. That's for, we won't need to talk about the capping there. That's for agents and teams.
Okay.
Cooperation with other brokers. So now as you know, everybody tries to stay professional in every single transaction. There has been some situations where agents lose their temper, and it's in the past month. I probably had about 3 calls from other agents where they maybe had a dispute with agents in our office. And it was really just because the way that somebody texts something or the way that somebody emails something was received in a harsher way or different way than what the sender intended it. So with cooperation with other brokers, though I know we text and email a lot, phone calls go a really long way. So I'm going to encourage that to, if you can make that phone call, so you can and to pass on anything, anything about the transaction. That's what I'm going to suggest you do, and then follow up with an email or a text message so you have a record of it. But cooperating with brokers is remaining business and professional like. In the case of where sometimes maybe the transaction is going a little sour, you can always include me as a carbon copy on every single email or even text messages. And that, as simple as just adding me to that, sometimes eliminates some of those extra snide remarks where the goal is we're just trying to get this property closed. So keep that in mind. I don't mind that. Keep carbon copy me on every email and text that as for communication. And that kind of eliminates some of the unnecessary comments or jabs that aren't needed. So just keep that in mind. All right, all contracts must be presented to the seller in person if possible. Now that we have DocuSign and everything's in command and able to share everything via the technology, that's not a problem as well. So is presenting all copies of everything as well. So that's listing agreements, working with real estate agent forms, any type of disclosures, everything that's signed. They would just request that you have a copy sent to the seller or your client, so they have a copy of everything. And it's usually done, if you can do that as soon as possible, that eliminates the lack of communication with any of our other clients. So your E&O insurance is covered on your monthly bill. So that is taken care of through, we have a carrier that, one thing I want to know, it does not cover us for cyber, if you ever got cyber hacked. So that's why I really was talking the other day about our wire transfers and being aware of sending classified information or client social security numbers or anything like that over unsecured emails. Our E&O insurance does not cover that. I'm sure maybe we are actually looked into what that costs and how that's going to come into play. But just keep that in mind. That's why every agreement says that wire fraud notice on every single paperwork. So you have that communication with each of your clients. Again, the E&O insurance, if you did have to go to a claim, the Market Center is responsible. We have up to a $5,000 deductible. And so depending on what your split would be what you would be responsible for. So if you're on a 70-30 split, and then the agent shall be responsible for 70 based towards that deductible. So just keep that in mind. Escrow deposits. So this has changed. We no longer hold any earnest money deposits. Anybody that, if you're representing your buyer, you make on page 2 where it says earnest money deposit, that should be made out to the closing attorney directly. McNaught holds that a lot downstairs. Thomas and Godley, they hold that. So closing attorneys are going to be the ones that have the checks of the earnest money deposits made out to them. And they are also the ones that will be signing page 14 on the offer to purchase. So again, always take copies of your checks, line out the account numbers and the routing number underneath for security, but that's going to be deposited with the closing attorney and they sign page 14. Keeping in contact with the Market Center, that's just another safety item that we take into account. So if you are traveling for a month or going away, I mean, not necessarily needed if you're going away for the weekend or something like that. But if you're going to be out of the office or the Market Center for a period of time, just let us know so we can make sure we keep track of your business. If you ever need people to contact your clients, if there isn't an agent in the office that you trust or that you feel comfortable with, I'd be the person to do that. So if you're ever away, hey, can you give my sellers or buyers an update based on this or that? I have no problem doing that. So keep that in mind as well. Keeping in contact with the Market Center will keep us in contact with your clients. It's suggested to do it at least once a week. All right, all of our listings are exclusive right to sell. Those are made between the client and the company is Keller Williams. So each listing is listed with the company. You're authorized, the authorized agent that signs the listing agreements. We suggest you remain in contact with your clients at least once a week, never leaving your seller stranded. That's a comment or a complaint that the commission, not necessarily myself, but the commission receives the most, is that my client never communicated with me. So we suggest do it once a week. Don't leave our sellers stranded. Set them with Command, and the way that we have our setups and smart plans, you can stay in touch with your contacts via texting, emails, and we suggest phone calls at least once a week. So all of your listing and sale files need to have all copies of everything, which is obviously now uploaded into Command. It's also a requirement from the commission for you to keep copies of all your listing and sale files in your own cloud or your own envelopes or folders, because everything that is in Command is owned by Keller Williams. So if the commission did audit us, we have access to all those files. However, if you're no longer with our company, then those files again are access to Keller Williams. So keep all your transaction, your listing files and sale files uploaded in Command because they're in there, but also on your own separate files so you have access to that if the commission ever audited you personally. Changes on your listings, you're authorized to make any changes in the MLS. Just update price changes or price reductions into in Command. You have access to edit all of your listings except to withdraw them. You can make them temporarily off the market, but in order to withdraw them, you have to send them to me and I'll take those off. Hi, Chelsea. All right, our listing procedure. Again, that's the same thing with our listing paperwork. Everything needs to be turned into, when you get a listing, turned into Command on the Market Center within 3 business days or 3 days. So get the listing, everything signed, get all your disclosures, all your paperwork uploaded within 3 days for your compliance in Command. Okay, I'm talking about negotiating commissions. You are the CEO of your own business. We have no minimum commission that you need to offer. However, we know that you're a full-time agent, and that being so and being affiliated with Keller Williams, you have a lot of value. So you don't have any reason to cut a commission where there's no set number, but we certainly do know that there's a lot of agents that you see in the MLS that will get a 6% commission, and they offer a 3% to a buyer's agency commission. So negotiating them, again, you're the CEO of your own business. You don't need to negotiate. I would always tell my clients, I am willing to adjust my commission. However, we need to have a qualified buyer in hand that's ready to make an offer and proceed. Because my first thing that negotiating is I'm not going to cut my commission. I'm going to negotiate the buyer to improve their offer or to reduce a closing cost request or maybe remove a home warranty. So and I always got an agreement from sellers. Say, I will adjust it. If that's the case, we have a ready, willing, and able buyer ready to move forward. Because right now, negotiating on yourself to cut your commission just to get a listing is not going to be not benefiting you, and you're not showing that you have good negotiating skills doing that from the beginning. So again, you're the CEO of your own business. You only make your own decisions. The sellers only pay us if you make the closing. We have a successful closing where the payment isn't authorized until the deed is actually recorded. And so that is something that you're able to tell that your clients that you earn your commission based upon that closing, that when the deed is recorded and the client actually gets their money before you. Purchasing real estate for your own personal residence. You're entitled to 1 list side and 1 buy side transaction per year, free of company dollar. This has to be your personal residence. So when this is your personal residence, a place that you live at, if you're listing it, you don't have to pay the listing side of the commission. The commission would just be based on what you're offering to the buyer's agent. Again, that's just for company dollar, so you would still pay royalty on that. but still, that's just a really, that's encouraging you to also to get into selling or buying investment properties. That's going to be allocated to just a 1% commission on that. So if you're buying or listing a investment property, 1% commission for company dollar, and royalty is still just paid on that. Our phone policy, we have phone duty that's signed up through the Market Center. So I know each agent signs up for that in different categories or different time frames. Do you do that, Tom? Have you signed up for any phone duty? Ooh, you're muted right now.
I'm so sorry. I apologize. Yeah, I haven't done that, Rob, yet with our office. I hadn't talked with anybody about that procedure, but would be looking to do that. I had stopped doing it at my previous Market Center just because they were only doing 2 tours a day for, which made it fairly lengthy.
Right. Okay.
Floor duty situation in that Market Center. So I kind of walked away from that just because I just didn't feel like it was longer than I wanted to be sitting there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh, no, I understand. Okay. Fair enough.
So it's something that I want to pursue with the Lake Norman Market Center.
Okay. Me personally, I never ever once did phone duty.
Is that right?
Yep. It's just because, I mean, people have to call you. You're waiting, hit or miss. I mean, does it work? Sure, it does sometime, but I prefer, if you're going to do that, sign up for that time. I did that time as lead generating instead of sitting there while people call me. I was the one that called them.
Makes
But
sense.
again, it's an opportunity.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so here's our consensus. Here's your top priorities here with Keller Williams. Your job is to sell real estate. You get paid when you make a successful closing. You want to earn your highest possible commission split. Our broker profit is world-class, and that's based on for profit sharing. So each agent can participate in profit share by expanding and adding to people in your downline and growing the Market Center. And profit share is all the money that's after all expenses. All of that is profit. 52% of the profit goes to the owners, and 48% of that goes to profit share. So that is true profit share, and that is our goal to improve with the office. Our office goal is to improve our profit share position to get into the top 25. Right now we're ranked 66 in the world. We want to improve that, get to the top 25, and that's in profit share, because that's actually showing that agents are making profit, not just the owners or just the Market Center. Our agents are participating in profit share and getting a good chunk of that. Your local and national and state realtor associations, everybody has paid and updated to that, or else you wouldn't be in the MLS. So that's just a responsibility that each agent has. Join the National Association of Realtors, the State Board, and Canopy Real Estate as well. Here's our referral-free policy. Doing referrals now in Command is so easy. You can find and navigate people to like the exact location your client's looking for. So we do require that if you are getting a referral, you ensure that you have the proper referral form signed. That does need to be signed by the broker in charge for the company that's referring it and the receiving referral company as well. So keep that in mind. That does need to be on file so you can get paid. And let me talk just briefly about the Keller Williams Lake Norman Referral Company. We have our own company here for agents that don't want to be full-time, that do not need to be access to the MLS. However, they want to keep their licenses active. We have a separate company where it's just a referral company. All the agents are on a 60-40 split, and you can only do referrals. So that's just something that not all agents know. When instead of just hanging up your license, when we say, well, we have the referral company where you have, that's a possibility where you can still keep your license with Keller Williams on a referral basis and keep your expenses down, but you're only doing referral business. Our seller net sheets, that is in DocuSign. That's a part of the listing paperwork that is that's required. As you guys heard me about my script with for sale by owners, if I can net you what you're looking to make using our services, would that interest you? So ensure you have your net sheet signed by your clients. And that is really the easiest thing to put up. You have your 4 expenses, you have the commission, the state tax stamps, seller deed preparation, and then a mortgage payoff if that's the case. So ensure you know how to do a net sheet. That is really the most important thing, what I dealt with when I was dealing with for sale by owners and passing on that information, speaking with sellers. Square footage, that's a requirement for each one of your listings. As a realtor, you're authorized to do your own drawings for square footage. So if you have any questions on how to determine square footage, there's guidelines and pamphlets that we can go step by step. You can obviously pay to get a square footage done, but I mean, it's length times width if you're dealing with a 1-level ranch. So square footage, determining that for a property is on you as the listing agent and also the buyer agent's responsibility to confirm square footage. Termination with Keller Williams. If you do decide to leave the company, any properties that you have that are under contract are going to have to close out with Keller Williams. However, if you have a listing that's not under contract, any of your listings are yours to take. Just to know that. Our unpaid bills, those are due to the office by the 15th of the month. Please remember that, and after you get 3 months behind, you're going to be in deep trouble. Possibility of getting taken off of our roster. So just keep that in mind. All right, and those are our office policies. I'll move on here. We're going to go on to some of our broker best practices. Go. So this is like the requirement. This is from the commission for the broker in charge of like what I'm responsible for. And as you can see, there's a lot of different things that go on that I have to keep my eye on. So first thing is, here's our orientation. You're making it. You're present, Tom. I got you checked off. Same with you, Chelsea. Good job. But the main points are maintaining all your records and all your documents, all listing and under contract, buyer agency agreements. We no longer have a trust account, so that's a huge list that's taken off of me, and then some other good policies that we have. So as your broker in charge, again, just remember that my job is to supervise and manage all the documents and paperwork that goes through to keep all of our agents in compliance with the commission. Keeping you guys out of trouble is what my top priority is. And as a regular broker, again, we're not over your shoulder making sure doing everything, but when you submit your documents in command, that needs to be in compliance. And for any of our PBs, that job is comes squarely on me. So that's, I think our PBs, if you have any questions, Chelsea asked some good questions with her listings and how she's getting offers and how to talk to other agents. So good questions that Chelsea asked, and all of our other provisional brokers that they ask some good questions. So just keep that in mind. I'm always here for a resource because essentially it's my license that's on the line. So we're making sure we're keeping contact with me especially. Let's see here. We talked about our. Okay, as far as submitting all your deposits to the brokerage, we no longer do the earnest money deposits. You're certainly never allowed to carry cash. So if a client says, I only have cash, and that, well, I would suggest taking that person to the bank and getting a bank check. You can also get a certified check from any bank. Now, if that person can't do it, well, you're still going to be required to make sure you get that check. So how much does that cost? Sometimes it's $7, $10, but that's really the cost of doing business. So remember, you cannot ever deal with cash. It must be a check. Creating a checklist for all documents. now that we have in command, when you get a listing, it's all those documents are required there. They're all the same forms as in our old files. So every listing agreement is going to need working with real estate agents, your exclusive right to sell, North Carolina property disclosures, mineral oil and gas, your affiliated business agreement, square footage calculations, seller net sheet, and then we also want a copy of the deed, so that we know that we're dealing with the right property or the right person. So we have checklists, and that's all in command. It's required to have all those documents, and it's also suggested that you have your own, that you have your own files, and we have our files here in the office. All listings, all contracts and service agreements are property of the broker in charge. Again, they're made out to the broker or to the firm, and you are the authorized representative to sign, like your buyer agency and listing agreement forms. Okay, we have that. Termination, we discussed that. Of your own property, we discussed that. Errors and omissions. Okay, that's that. We talked about that. When you sign on, everybody has to have a privilege license from the Department of Revenue. That's $50, and that's renewed yearly. So you just remember that you have to do that. All right, let's talk about your area of expertise. So where can you do business? Okay, so what I did when I first here, because I came from Rhode Island, it took 1 hour to drive from the one end of the state to the whole other part of the state. So I did anywhere I could in Rhode Island, being it's so small. So if you look in that, where is that here? It's an hour. If you start here and you drive an hour north, well, that's going to take you to some parts in Statesville, some of the northern parts or western parts on I-40. And if you go down south for an hour, that's going to take you gone as far as to Ballantyne. So if your area of expertise can be anywhere in the Charlotte, Canopy metro area, any of the counties that you put, and we talked about when you're dealing with a buyer's agent and you're putting the area of you're working with North Carolina, I would put to cover yourself all of North Carolina, because you're licensed in the state, and that's going to cover you if they decide to, because if you just put a narrow, say I want to just do Mecklenburg County, and then they buy a property in Iredell County, well, that could cause some red flags or give someone an option of maybe bringing something up. So if you're ever representing a client in North Carolina and buyer's agents put all North Carolina, I suggest an hour radius. If you're going to go any further than that, there's Keller Williams offices throughout. We are one real big family. So if that is an area, if you want to go to Winston-Salem or Raleigh, ask an agent over there. I've had a listing that I put in the Winston-Salem MLS that I just partnered with another agent. So use your Keller Williams family from wherever they are if you want to either set up a referral or partner with somebody. But just try and stay in your area of expertise with residential, property management, or commercial. Commercial is, you have the same license to deal in all those transactions. However, the verbiage and the game per se is maybe a little bit different. So keep that in mind. Stay in your area of expertise in your local area and try and really promote yourself as the local expert. Okay, those are all documents and disclosures. All disclosures are needed in all your loops to filling out your disclosure. Let's talk about that, our seller's disclosures. Has anybody set up their profile with Seller's Shield? Tom or Chelsea, you haven't done that yet? Okay.
I haven't.
Okay. Well, I would suggest you can do that because one, it's for free. When you get a listing, you register the listing address in their seller's email, and they get a copy of the property disclosures, the mineral oil and gas, and then a lead, if that's the case. They fill it out online and it's completed and sent back to you. Those are all required. Part of your loop required as disclosures on the MLS. So if you can use your Seller's Shield, It's going to protect you. It's going to so easy for your clients to do to get that set up for them. It's really not difficult. So if you can set that up, it's for free. I'd look into that. You should have got an email last week, but I'll resend that. I can resend that out.
I did. I got that, Rob, so I've got it in my email already.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. All right, our advertising, we'll go into that here, and I'll pull up our other logos. But as long as you already have your business cards, our advertising policies with the logo, the Realtor logo, each office's independently owned logo, and the equal opportunity logo, those are all requirements for your business cards. And any type of other forms of advertising. So having that logo, the Keller Williams logo on every single part of your advertising, whether it's internet or handouts or on your business pages or Facebook social media pages, it's going to eliminate the public as this not a blind ad. So they know that any type of advertising that you do, you're affiliated with Keller Williams, that you are a realtor, that is nothing that's hidden. So any type of marketing, you make sure you just have your Keller Williams logo and include it on it, and you're going to be covered. As far as teams and groups, each office we have one broker in charge. So even though if you're on a team and there are team leaders, those team leaders are broker in charge eligible. However, they're not the broker in charge for the office. So if you do work for a team, it's not a problem. You're going to get the training that you have from that team leader. But keep in mind that the broker in charge that you're working under and the paperwork and compliance goes through the one at the office, within this office is me. Our safety procedures, certainly talk about that when buyer's agents are showing property or they receive a phone call from a client or a person that they don't know. It is certainly encouraged to put in your calendar who you are meeting with, their name and phone number, and the address that you're going to. It's encouraged that you meet here at the office first. That way people are on camera. Maybe somebody else here can have an opportunity to meet them. But with that script is really simple. Let's meet here at the office. We can go over the process that we have to do prior to looking at this house. You're justifying your value because you can have a pamphlet with some information talking about getting pre-approved or some things to look for, maybe the home inspection process. So meeting here in the office is going to eliminate meeting strangers at a property. However, if you do, if that's the case, you're meeting for sale by owners, put in your calendar where you're going, the address, and who you're meeting with, and let somebody know, whether it's your spouse, somebody here at the office, but always let somebody know where you're going. So I always told that with my wife in my calendar. This is the property I'm going to. This is the address, Joe Smith, and there's their phone number. It's always in your calendar. That's an easy place to find it. Okay, regarding the code of ethics, you are required to take the code of ethics every single, I want to say it's every 4 years. So we'll have to check on this cycle. We just had that cycle. So the code of ethics is just in regards to the MLS. If you have a listing, properties, and if the property is as in a coming soon status, the properties cannot be shown. Code of ethics just requires that you treat everybody fairly in the MLS, whether they're a buyer's agent or a seller's agent. So keep that in mind, the code of ethics, and treat others how you want to be treated. Okay, records management. So all your records need to be maintained in your account for at least 3 years from the conclusion of the transaction. If you have text message or emails, that should be printed out and kept as part of those records in a file on the cloud or in Gmail or some type of storage. I am responsible for maintaining those records that we have here at the office. If the commission did come and ask me for the files, so I need to provide them immediate record retention for the past 3 years, which we have in DocuSign and also from Dotloop. Those are saved Or just keep in mind that's owned by Keller Williams. So if the commission comes to you, you need to have a record of your own documents as well too. Trust accounts, we talked about that. We don't keep any money here at the office. All money is going to be deposited with the closing attorney, and they sign page 14 of the offer to purchase. All checks must be deposited within 3 days of getting them over to your clients. Don't hold any of that money. To deliver that as soon as you possibly can. Crisis management and dispute. I try and start every one of the PB meetings with this, stating that my job is to, if a deal is going awry, to intervene, to investigate, and to possibly try and save the deal. My job as a broker in charge is to make sure that the buyer and the seller are happy, which is ultimately the goal. So sometimes agents get in the way. Sometimes some sellers are the reason for some of these disputes, or the buyer is as well. So crisis management, come to me if you ever need that. With regards to copying me on text or emails, that's been the case before and it's been successful. So use the broker in charge if you come up with any problems or disputes with another agent or your own client. I've actually had to reach out to a client so they could get all their paperwork in so they could get approved for their loan. The guy would not respond, but when I reached out to him, he did. So he got his paperwork in to the loan, and was able to buy the house. Not sure why he wouldn't listen to anybody else, but that's the case. Use me and I'm here for you. Okay, there we go. We talked about that. Let's go into, I'm just going to pull up some of the stuff that we have with regards to our advertising. Some of the logos, all the logos are shared on our Facebook page. So those are all, you have access to all those logos. But let's look at these ones. All right, this is an approved logo. Let's see, one more logo. And that's the most popular logo that we have. So if you have the copies of these logos, need to be on your business card. And some people even put them just right in the corner of their advertising on Facebook. For every single post that they have, their Keller Williams logo is just on every single piece of advertising or in the corner of their logo. So you can never question, is that a blind ad? No, that person is associated and works with Keller Williams. So that's what we talk as for advertising on any of your social media platforms or printout platforms. This is a requirement.
Rob, you said that was available on the Facebook page?
Yes, correct. So on the Facebook page,
okay.
There's actually, it's right there it's right on the left where it goes there, where there's videos, photos, files. They're all right in there.
Perfect. Thank you.
A few other things that are there as well too, that just while we're talking about that is the W-9 for our office, and also the bill of sale is there as well too. So those are forms that are just right from our Facebook page. So all the logos, your W-9, that type of stuff. All right, now let's get into license renewal and maintaining your own license. Now, who's done their CE credits already? Tom, are you done?
Yes, sir. Doesn't
that feel good?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I know what, it's crazy that I just finished mine like last week. I took one on Friday and then one on Monday. Thank goodness I did, because now I'd go online or you'd be scrambling. So good, good job doing that. June 30th is when everyone has to renew their license. So just keep that in mind. Make sure everything was done by June 10th. Where did you take your courses?
I took an elective. I took a code of ethics elective at Rowan Cabarrus Community College. John Savadny taught that class, and then I had been scheduled for Sandy Williams was going to do the Gen Up at the University Market Center. I had to cancel that class, and so I ended up rescheduling Gen Up with Cindy Chandler down at the association, down at Canopy.
Okay. Did you update? Let me see. Let's see if you.
I haven't even bothered to look at the commission.
I'm just looking at the commission's website right now. You have your elective in your update, so you're good to go with the commission. Good. Let's see, Chelsea. I don't think you have to do yours, because you got your license in 18, so you still have to. Let me see what you have. Just no update, no elective, and you have your 302 done. So keep plugging away on that, because. Well, the PBs, obviously their regulations are changing, so make sure you stay up on that. And since you did, you don't have to worry about having to worry about the classes and doing them online. But they are moving to, they said that Gen Up is going to be available online next year. So you'll be able to take those. Okay. All right. Let's see what my other logo is here. So now that's office policies, broker best practices, kind of the stuff that you've heard. Keep yourself out of real estate jail. Do you have any questions on advertising or office policies, or what my role is to help you guys? No?
I think I'm good, Rob.
Okay. So then the last part here that I was going to talk about was just talking about getting into with the shift and kind of like what we're dealing with right now. So on my copy of Shift, let me get this one up. All right, so Shift. Do you have a copy of the Shift book, Tom?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool, good. Well, I printed it out here. You don't have to get it. I was just wondering if you had it or not. We were prepared. But I read these pages from 276 to 278. So by choosing to embrace opportunity, you're choosing to shift. Whether you're a market shift force you choose, or you simply choose to shift your business to another level, there are 12 issues you must tackle. Although we've been looking at them through the eyes of the market shift, they aren't just about that. There are, in fact, the 12 fundamentals for shifting your business anytime and anywhere. This just may be one of the biggest ahas you get from a shift. They're not just timely, they're timeless. So these 12 activities. Okay, so first, let's get right about your situation and get right about what you're working to do. Bring a greater sense of clarity, priority, and focus to your work. Look at your role and do what you do best and get paid the most for. So most likely that'll be lead generation and conversion. Well, again, boy, we talk about that no matter what, I think every single day. But if you get clarity on that and have a time block where you have your calendar out for the entire week and time block what you're going to do, what you do good or what you do well, is going to really be your first step of getting through some of this things that were going on here. Remargin your business and get serious about expense management and profitability. So now's the time to cut expenses. We've always kind of said you should be doing any type of thing where you're spending money if you can do month-to-month contracts, whether that's paying for a zip code or paying for any type of other services that you're using to lead generate. You look at what you have, play red light, green light. If you can hit the red light button and stop expenses maybe for a month or 2 months, for something that you could just jump back in and do month to month, that's going to keep your bottom line and keep you going forward where you're leading with revenue and not expenses. Do more with less. Maximize your productivity. Focus on the 6 core competencies of real estate sales business and hold everyone around you to a higher standard. Follow a clear process for hiring and firing, continually top grade your people, and annually upgrade your systems. So out of those 6 core items I have, you should be lead generation, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate contracts, add to your database, and communicate. Where you're communicating, you're not just always talking, you're listening, active listening. Focus on the 4th thing is focus on your lead generation and finding motivated sellers. Time block to ensure this gets done every single day. Master the tasks, skills, and scripts of your lead generation method, and make your message match your market, and always make direct and indirect offers for immediate response. Any type of lead generation, your number one goal should be to make an appointment, get face-to-face. All those other items where you're lead following up and adding them to your database, that's all steps you need to take. But lead generation with the goal of making an appointment face-to-face. Now, again, with what we're kind of dealing with face-to-face might be difficult, but you could prep people by saying, well, you could do a FaceTime, you could do a Zoom meeting like this, or you could just ensure prior to your appointment, you're taking that extra step. I have a cleaning bag, maybe sanitize your hands right at the appointment, or just to clarify everything that you're the only one that's going to be there, and just pre-approving and qualifying your appointments to try and get face-to-face or virtual to virtual, whatever you can do. That's ultimately your ultimate goal for lead generation. So I read an interesting article here. Of course, with this virus coming out, people aren't looking at properties as much. So you're going to see a lot of canceled listings, withdrawn listings, and expired listings, just because one, they didn't sell because they were canceled they didn't want people to come in. Things have changed, or they were already priced high. Now with people being more cautious going out, you're going to see a lot more expireds come up. That doesn't mean those people don't want to sell, because sometimes some people have to sell. People are always getting married, divorced, getting a new job, having to move, having kids. People are croaking. No matter what happens, real estate's still going to go on. So keeping that in mind. And something else that I want to keep into something that you'll have in your arsenal is with Keller Offers. Let me show you what came out with Keller Offers, something that we can share. And Keller Offers is supported by OfferPad. So again, when you're talking to your clients, here's an announcement from OfferPad that came out today. Okay, so they have the first line. We've been monitoring the COVID and watching closely for further developments and actions. So here's what their update is. Will it affect the offer that OfferPad will provide to my client? No. OfferPad is committed to providing the best offer on your home within hours. What are they doing to keep sellers and buyers safe? They've adapted policies and procedures that comply with the latest guidelines and recommendations. They'll only work with vendors who've also adopted these policies and that are staying consistent. They're just taking their protocols with all their vendors. For customers currently under contract, the inspection process will not change. They're still going to have third-party inspectors to go in there. Home inspection will be for customers in contract as of March 17th. Home inspections will be scheduled after April 1st. So they're kind of not going to be doing anything here for the next 18 days or 12 days or so. And yes, you can still show all the vacant homes from OfferPad. So this is still a valid resource that you can use. If a client say, I don't want to have any more showings, maybe it is worth my health and worth my sanity to just get an offer from OfferPad through Keller Offers and see if that's possible. So using this as an announcement, they're not stopping. That's a resource that you have through Keller Williams. So keep that in mind, your OfferPad. That's a possibility that you can use to talk to sellers. All right, go back to my book. What's going on here? Okay, bear with me here. Did I lose you guys?
Right here.
Okay. Here we go. Well, we can't share my screen here. Okay. Can you see the screen again? No.
I'm getting a shot of your face.
That's it. All right. Lucky you guys.
I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, we're going to go back to here then. All right. Well, if you had there, here's it. We'll just kind of finishing up here with these last items that we're talking about. Okay. So the sixth item there, what's catching people in your web and your internet strategy and really trying to focus on capturing their contact information. That's really building up that database and adding people to the database that don't want to meet with you now, which is fine, which is understandable. But making sure you capture their email, capture their phone, being able to have that information and being able, so if you don't set the appointment now, well, that's going to be with your lead follow-up. So, hey, let's not meet now, but maybe we can meet in a week or 2 weeks from now. Master your selling price so that your listings are always in the market. That's really coming down to, well, if our property is getting less activity and less showing and the market here is kind of taking that hit, well, we have to price our property where the market is taking us. It doesn't mean that the prices are going to be dropping, but it should be prices that are priced accordingly are going to get your most activity. Master staging strategies so your sellers stand out from the competition. Show them how to properly clean up. Repairs and cosmetic improvements will increase activity and decrease the time on the market. That's going to be important now, especially if you're going to be ensuring your first line of showings now, which is going to be virtual tours. They kind of already were your first line of showings where buyers knew what the house looks like before they go in. But now you have to make sure your virtual tours are really tip-top shape and those photos that are really going to be able to stand out. The ninth thing is help buyers overcome reluctance and acquire genuine urgency. Become their local economist of choice. Help them to tap into their why and show them the hazards of trying to time the market. Narrow the field by providing the best buy list and to see the opportunities that exist in their market. That screams share your app. Share your consumer app with all your clients. They can pinpoint neighborhoods, what's going on. They can really get timely information. So that's a lot of value when you're reaching out to your clients or people in your database. let me share this app with you so we can be in front of the market. We can time it perfectly based on what's available and what's going on in today's world. So share your app with as many people as possible. Build a creative finance team around your listings. Use seller creativity. Sellers offering concessions, contributions, owner financing, buyer payment, home warranties. Maybe even saying seller is offering free home cleaning at the time when you're moving out, something like that. So that's going to create a little bit of, or calm some buyer agents' fears. Hey, when the house is sold, here's our offer. Instead of the $500 for a home warranty, here's $500 for a full home cleaning, where a cleaning company goes in there and just goes from head to toe. That probably might be worth more now than a home warranty, and it's the same exact price. So just being creative what your sellers can offer to still bring the buyers in there. Participate in the market of the moment, giving your a larger bandwidth to your business. Know the ins and outs of short sales and foreclosures, but I think that should pinpoint to know the ins and outs of the Keller offer process. That's getting an offer, maybe not at what the market can generate, but it's also going to eliminate the fear of any showings or open houses. It's an all cash offer and they can close on the seller's terms. It may be a little bit less, but that's the case when people are looking for convenience or safety. That's what they can do today. And as well as you being the expert on that, you can still have the opportunity to earn your commission because when Keller Offers buys the property, you get the listing back. So that's something to keep in mind. And number 12, bulletproof the transaction. What does that mean? Okay, well, you're taking nothing for granted. You want to set your seller and buyer expectations up front, letting clients know that we're going through some crazy things that you have no control over in the world right now. However, you're doing the best part because you have your hand as a part of the transaction. You're the center of the deal, and everything that goes out is a reason and a part of you. So involve yourself in the selection and supervision of all vendors. Excuse me. Be involved in all inspections. All right, hang on, I got a cough here. Well, that's what I was hoping wouldn't happen, where I got itchy throat, but it did. But that was our 12th thing of bulletproofing the transaction. Just getting really more involved, being like the center of the transaction. And that was on shift pages 276 to 278. So if I have plenty of shift books over here. We talked about the Millionaire Real Estate book a lot, but that shift book right now, kind of pinpointing some of these specific activities, is going to get you guys into production and kind of go through this with the storm and everything that's going on. All right. Well, does anybody have any questions or anything that we just talked about? Or you want me to discuss a little bit more?
I'm good, Rob. Thank you for covering.
Okay, excellent. Chelsea, do you have any things going well for you, Chelsea? You good?
I think I figured it out, how to unmute myself.
There we go. All right. Well, if you have a coughing attack like I just had, you got to kind of dive out of the way. But oh well. Hey, life goes on.
long as you're okay.
Yeah, I'll make it. Just whatever. I was hoping that wouldn't happen, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can feel it coming. Oh well. Well, thank you everybody for showing up. I appreciate it, and we're gonna still. I think these Zoom type of meetings are the best way that we're gonna do it. So we'll keep our education and training going on, and we're here to help if you have any other questions.
Sounds great. Thank you, Rob.
All right, great. Have a great afternoon, everybody. See you later.
Thank you.